Oh, hello there. You caught me while I'm munching on this. Look at this amazing, massive bowl of banana and ice cream with fresh guava. It's so big that it's almost overflowing. And I'm just tugging into it right now. As you can see, I'm not really raw till 4 because it's dark outside, but and I did have a coffee and a vegan cookie for breakfast this morning, so definitely not raw till 4, but I just like ice cream in the evening, watching some videos on YouTube with the ice cream. So yeah, I just got a message, well, not just, it was actually ages ago, but I'm meaning to do a video about it, so I'm doing it now. From one of my followers, contacts on Facebook, from a fellow model actually, saying that she wants to go vegan, or is transitioning to a vegan lifestyle, and she wants some tips. I mean, initially I just looked at it and I was just like, well, just stop eating animal products. But then I thought about it, if it were that easy, then I would have done it a long time ago, because I have always agreed with the principles of being vegan ever since I first turned vegetarian when I was 13. But I just thought it was too hard, because, we live in this crazy fucked up world where anybody who wants to live a compassionate, ethical life without harming other creatures is deemed a crazy extremist. So yeah, it can be pretty challenging, as we know. So I just wanted to share some of my top tips for how to transition to a vegan lifestyle. Now, my experience is slightly different because I kind of did it in stages. I went vegetarian when I was 13, and then, when I was 18, I think, no, it was probably younger than that actually. It was sort of 16, 17. I was volunteering with Peter at the time. That's when I started going vegan, but I was not very good at it, because there wasn't really like the nutritional, or the nutritional resources that there are now, especially with like YouTube and sharing information. There wasn't that then, so I didn't really know. And even though I was working with Peter quite regularly, they ate a lot of junk food, a lot of vegan junk food that you have to go to specialist stores or buy online to try and get. So I didn't realise that you can have an optimal lifestyle by just eating fruits, vegetables, starches, grains, that kind of thing. Okay, so the number one thing that you need to do is do your research. Not just for yourself, so that you know that what you're doing is right. I can say in my own experience, it's not because I needed to be careful that I'm getting enough of this and enough of that, because actually I felt absolutely fine since going vegan, and I've just eaten whatever I want as long as it's vegan. So that's not the reason why I say do your research. I'd say do your research because you will face opposition from people, and they will ask you a lot of questions, and you need to have the confidence to be able to answer those questions in order to keep your resolve up, because it isn't always easy. And depending on where you live, it might not be that easy for you when you're eating out and things and going to social gatherings with your non-vegan friends, and people just like rolling their eyes at you, like, because you're being a pain in the arse. And I've had a lot of this as well. So having done my research, I was able to say to people when they're telling me that, when they're just asking me questions and being resistant and showing that they are quite uncomfortable with my presence and my dietary choices, I've just been able to hit them with the truth. And so it's really, really important. This is the number one thing that I would say you do. Do your nutritional research. I will put a list of books and documentaries that you can watch in the description box, so please check that out. I would just say Forks Over Knives, Cowspiracy, read 80-10-10. Definitely read the China study. For me, that was actually, being perfectly honest, That was the only one I read. All the others I kind of just read articles and watched YouTube videos and just extracted the information that I needed in order to kind of give my answer to the naysayers. But I am working my way through them. Yeah, like if you don't have time to read everything, then just kind of summarize everything. Go on YouTube and just, get an overall summary of all the questions that you think you're going to be asked, because, I think this is a big one. You don't want people trying to convince you not that what you're doing is wrong or making you look like an idiot, because, it can be hard for people. Also, when it comes to doing your research, don't just look at nutrition. Also look at the environmental impact of the meat industry. Again, I'll put some more links in the description box, so that you know the other reasons why you're doing this. Because everybody comes at it from a different perspective. Some people do it because of animal rights. Some people do it because of the environment. Some people do it for their health. Some people do it for their weight. I mean, for me, when I first switched to veganism, when I switched to veganism this time, which was a year ago, after the Thai Fruit Festival, I mean, my motivations have always been animal rights. I've always been passionate about animal rights. But once I realised that being vegan is actually nutritionally sound, not only nutritionally sound, but optimal, and that I would lose weight as a model, and, that being quite a sort of vain, image-obsessed industry, that was quite a big motivation for me. I'm sorry if that makes me shallow, but, my career is kind of important to me. So that was one of the things that switched me over as well. So whatever your motivation is, do research into that, but also look at the other areas as well, because when people start chucking shit at you, you're able to look at which perspective they're coming from, because not everybody's going to agree with everything. If you start talking to somebody about the health benefits, and they're like, no, I'm a nutritionist or I'm a fitness instructor and I know blah 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 blah, and they just refute what you say, it doesn't matter how many facts you hit them with. If they think that they're bullshit because they heard something else from some other bullshit study that was funded by the meat and dairy industry, then you're not going to convince them. But you might be able to convince them if you go the animal rights route or the environmental route. So do your research on all these different areas of the meat and dairy industry. Watch Earthlings, because one thing I will say is, that could just be because it could just be a personal thing, because I'm coming at it, my primary motivation was animal rights based. For me, like, when I first turned vegetarian, I don't think I would have been able to do it if I hadn't watched some really difficult animal rights videos. And after watching enough of those, I couldn't look at meat the same way again. I just didn't want to eat it anymore. And it's not that I didn't like it. I mean, my mum said that I was the kind of kid that would eat all the meat on my plate and leave all the vegetables. I didn't like vegetables, and now I'm a vegan. So, I understand that meat tastes good, and I agree that meat tastes good. But after watching where it comes from, I don't feel tempted. I really, really don't feel tempted to eat it anymore. And if I've eaten, like in Thailand, it would happen sometimes where you eat something and you've told them that you're vegan, but you can taste that they've put like fish sauce in it or like a meat-based stock. I can taste it and it tastes disgusting to me now. It's actually like, people talk about, but the flavour, like, it's the flavour of death. It's the flavour of blood and suffering and torture and death. So it's not appealing to me after watching all those factory farm videos. So I would definitely say, do that. Watch Earthlings. Like, check out some recipes on YouTube. Follow people on Instagram to get some ideas. Stay carved up. Make sure that you have enough vegan food in the house all the time, so that you're not tempted to eat whatever crap other people are eating and offering you and trying to tempt you with. One thing I will say as well is, to people who are transitioning, who still are kind of cheating, try not to do that. Like, I can understand why you would. Like, I was talking to my mum recently. She's been into raw veganism for a few years, but she would still eat meat sometimes. But now she's trying to transition over to being vegetarian, and she's mostly vegetarian. But I was talking to her on the phone the other day, and I was asking her how that was going, and she said, "Yeah, I'm vegetarian, but sometimes when I go to my mum's house and she's made chicken for me, or she's made some meat for me, then I will just eat it because I don't want it to go to waste, and she's cooked it." So what I said to her was like, okay, that's fair enough. I actually did that myself a couple of weeks ago, not with meat, but I had a pastry that was going to go in the bin, and I said to my housemate, no, it's okay, don't throw it in the bin. I'll have it. So call me a vegan. But what I said to her was, don't do that, because I can understand why you've done that, but if you continue to do it, especially with your mother or somebody you have a continual relationship with, she will continue to cook that chicken for you because she knows that you eat it. Same thing happened with my housemate. Like, I ate that pastry to save it from the bin, and then when we did a photo shoot, he's a photographer, we did a photo shoot together, and he bought some snacks for the whole team to eat on set, and he'd gone to the same pastry shop where these were from to get the snacks, and I was just like, oh, what did you get for me? And he goes, I got your pastry. And I was like, that's not vegan. And he goes, yeah, but you ate it last time. I was like, yeah, but you know I'm vegan, and you know that I only ate it to save it from the bin. So why did you get it again? And he goes, well, just eat it, otherwise I will throw it in the bin, and then so you can eat it now. And I'm just like, no, I'm not going to now. Like, you need to learn not to do that. I'm not going to eat it this time. You can actually throw that in the bin. So people can get the wrong end of the stick. So maybe once or twice when you're transitioning is fine, but if you notice that people are just not taking you seriously and they're not catering for you because you continue to cheat, then maybe it's time to stop cheating. Download the Happy Cow app. It's been a fucking godsend while traveling, because in your own town near you might know all the vegan and vegetarian restaurants, but for me, like, when I'm traveling and going to new towns all the time, Happy Cow is amazing. You just pull it up and it shows you where all the vegetarian and vegan restaurants are. And like, for me as well, like, being in Southeast Asia, even if you tell them that you're vegan, they sometimes really don't take it seriously. Like, if you're eating in a non-vegetarian or vegan restaurant, if I go to a normal restaurant, even if they have like, oh, this is our vegetarian section or this is our vegan section, because some of the places in Bali, that because they cater to like a bit of a hippie community, they do have good vegan options, but some of the staff are not really aware of vegan issues or the whole vegan thing. And I'll say to them, I want the mashed potato that has no butter in it, does it? Because I'm vegan. No, that's fine. Okay, yes, we'll bring it to you, no butter. So this was last night, actually, where I went for dinner at a non-vegetarian, non-vegan place. Mashed potato arrived, and my friend was just like, that's got butter in it. I was like, I fucking told them no butter. And he's just like, they don't care, it's got butter in it. So if you really, like, I mean, I still ate it because I don't want to waste food. But if I was going to, and I'm just not going to eat there again, actually, but if I was going to go there again, I would send it back and say, no, I asked for vegan. And then they'll remember, like, if they fuck up, then you're going to send it back. So, yeah, that's just something to consider. It depends on how you feel about it, whether you want to send something back. But I would advise just try and eat in vegetarian and vegan restaurants where they're a bit more considerate to that kind of thing. But another thing that I've noticed is, like, some of the vegetarian restaurants here in Bali are actually worse at catering for vegans than the non-vegetarian places, because there's like a couple of Australian-owned businesses here that will have like vegan things on the menu, and they'll even have raw vegan things on the menu, and they'll have soy milk, and they have like a very inclusive menu. But then you'll go, oh, like, there's a Hare Krishna place just opposite, and they have hardly anything on the menu that's vegan. Most of it is just vegetarian, and they use ghee and everything. Another tip, don't be a judgy, annoying vegan. I know it's hard, and I find it hard as well. And some of my non-vegan friends who might stumble upon this video and watch it might go, "Oh, how hypocritical, Sana, you're so judgy and annoying." I'm not. I'm not. Well, it's a matter of opinion, isn't it? I don't think I am. I don't judge other people for eating meat because I understand why they eat it. But what might make me seem judgy and annoying is the fact that I speak the truth. And that's unfortunately something that we're going to have to deal with when we're talking to people. If they start asking you questions about being vegan, you are... Just be sensitive with how you're talking to them. Because there is especially when you start watching all the animal rights videos and all the climate change stuff, when you're faced with people who are so asleep to all that stuff, and so resistant to it as well, when you've seen so much violence, and so you start to wake up and realise how much devastation the meat industry is causing, and then you get these people attacking you for wanting to live a compassionate, ethical life, it can make you angry. Of course it can. And it can make you judgmental towards them. But just try and be as compassionate as you can, because personally, I think the most important thing is not, to be right and to win the argument and to kind of beat someone into submission. It's just to convince them, Like, I know people don't like the fact that vegans are trying to convince people and tell them what to do with their lives. Nobody's forcing anything on you. But we are quite passionate about this cause because we think it's fucked up to kill animals, and we think it's fucked up that it's destroying the environment. We want it to end. So yeah, just be careful how you talk to meat eaters, especially if you're only just transitioning to this lifestyle. Just remember that not so long ago you were doing the same thing that they were. So yeah, it's just important to be considerate in the way that you talk to them. So I think that's it. Yep, so if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you thought the information was useful and some of your friends would appreciate watching it, then please share it with your network. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already subscribed. Leave me a comment. What do you think? No haters, please. Actually, bring the haters. Bring the haters. Let's see what you got. Yeah, I always love a good debate. Anyway, yep. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.